Good morning and welcome to Top of the Morning by Mint, your daily shot of sharp business intel, global trends and market movers. It's Wednesday, July 23rd. I'm Nelson John. Buckle up, because from fiery landings to fiery deals, the last 24 hours have been nothing short of turbulent. A string of back-to-back flight scares has Indian aviation on red alert. Donald Trump is dropping tariffs and trade bombs from Tokyo to Manila, and a long-awaited India-UK trade pact is finally ready for takeoff. Plus, big changes are coming to America's H1-B visa system. If you're an Indian techie eyeing the US, you'll want to stay tuned. There's plenty to unpack this morning. Let's take a closer look right here on Top of the Morning. It's been a dramatic 48 hours in Indian skies, with 3 back-to-back incidents keeping aviation authorities on alert. On Tuesday, an Air India flight from Hong Kong, flight AI315, landed safely in Delhi, only for a fire to break out in its auxiliary power unit APU minutes after it had parked at the gate. The timing was tense. Passengers had just started disembarking. Fortunately, the APU system shut down automatically. The fire was quickly extinguished and everyone on board was safe. Now, the situation could have been significantly more critical had the flight still been airborne at the time. The aircraft, however, has been grounded for checks. Passengers disembark normally and are safe, Air India said in a statement, adding that the regulators have been informed. This came right after 2 separate Air India incidents on Monday, one involving a Kolkata-bound flight in Delhi that aborted takeoff due to a technical snag. Another aircraft, flight AI315 from Kochi, veered off the runway while landing in heavy rain at Mumbai. Thankfully, all passengers were unharmed. The turbulence didn't stop there. An Indigo flight from Goa to Indore made an emergency landing after a landing gear warning midair. The 140 passengers on board were safe and the plane will now go under mandatory inspections. While no one was hurt in any of these cases, the spate of incidents is raising serious questions about maintenance, safety protocols, and monsoon operations. Donald Trump is back to reshaping U.S. immigration, and this time it's the H1-B visa system in the crosshairs. On July 17th, the Department of Homeland Security filed a proposal to revamp the H1-B lottery system, introducing a weighted and wage-linked selection process. Now, what does that mean? Instead of the current random lottery, higher paid and more skilled applicants could get priority access to one of the 85,000 new H1-B visas issued annually. The proposal is now under review by the Office of Information and Regulatory Affairs. If cleared, this could fundamentally shift how foreign talent enters the U.S. workforce. Elon Musk chimed in on X with a one-word endorsement: great. Musk has long criticized the H1-B system as broken and once said he'd go to war over the need for reform. Currently, all H1-B applicants compete on equal footing, irrespective of skill or salary. But that could soon change, much to the concern or relief of employers and applicants worldwide. Indians, who make up over 70% of the approved H1-B visas, will be watching closely. In FY24, 77% of the 320,000 approved slots were granted to Indian nationals. Trump's MAGA base often pushes for tighter immigration, but this policy tweak appears aimed more at skilling over scaling, favoring highly paid professionals over volume. More details are expected soon, but the message is clear. H1-B 2.0 could be merit first. It was a trademark Trump moment. Bold claims, big numbers, and a heavy tariff twist. On Wednesday, US President Donald Trump announced what he called the largest deal ever made with Japan. The deal includes a 15% tariff on Japanese imports, but Trump says it's worth it, declaring that the US will reap 90% of the profits and that Japan will invest $550 billion in the American economy under his direction. This deal will create hundreds of thousands of jobs. There has never been anything like it, Trump wrote on Truth Social. While the finer details remain under wraps, Trump revealed that Japan will now open up to trade in auto, trucks, rice, and some agricultural products. Plus, there's talk of a Japan-US joint venture on liquefied natural gas in Alaska. This announcement came just hours after Trump struck another trade pact with the Philippines. In that case, he slightly dialed back tariffs from a threatening 20% to 19% after a conversation with President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Interestingly, Trump's Japan reveal has triggered political tremors in Tokyo, with PM Shigeru Ishiba reportedly considering resignation, facing heat within his party after a poor election showing. As Prime Minister Narendra Modi readies for his first UK visit since Keir Starmer took office, a big-ticket deal is set to steal the spotlight. On Tuesday, India's cabinet gave the green light to the long-awaited India-UK Free Trade Agreement, calling it a landmark deal that will be signed during Modi's London trip this week. Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal will accompany him. Mr. Starmer had earlier hailed it as Britain's biggest trade deal since Brexit, and it's arriving just as the US, under Trump, rethinks global trade with fresh tariffs. This India-UK pact, in contrast, is all about opening markets and deepening ties. What's in it? India will reduce tariffs on 90% of British goods and make 85% of them duty-free over the next decade. In return, the UK will eliminate tariffs on 99% of Indian exports, including key sectors like textiles, gems, auto parts, chemicals, and marine products. This is going to be big for Indian exporters, especially apparel and home textiles, which currently face 8 to 12% UK duties. Those duties will now vanish, likely prompting a new wave of manufacturing investments and job creation. Despite their historic ties, UK-India trade today make up just 2% of India's total trade. This deal could finally unlock that potential. The FTA will still need UK Parliament's nod. But make no mistake, this is the most significant India-UK economic handshake in decades. Donald Trump is walking away from UNESCO again. In a move first reported by the New York Post, Trump has decided to withdraw the United States from the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, citing what he calls an anti-America, anti-Israel and woke agenda. This president will always put America first, said White House Deputy Spokesperson Anna Kelly, adding that Trump believes UNESCO's priorities don't align with U.S. national interests. Trump had ordered a 90-day review back in February, focusing on the organization's diversity, equity and inclusion policies, as well as its perceived pro-Palestinian and pro-China leanings. UNESCO's anti-racism toolkit and its transforming mentalities, hinting gender initiatives, was singled out as being too activist in tone. Officials also criticized UNESCO's criticism of Israel's actions in Gaza and its designation of Jewish holy sites as Palestinian heritage. China's growing influence within the organization was another red flag. Worth noting, this isn't the first US exit. Trump pulled the plug once before in 2017, and Ronald Reagan did the same back in 1983. Joe Biden rejoined in 2023, arguing it was vital to counter China's rising clout in the organization. Now with Trump aiming at UNESCO, it becomes another flashpoint in his wider battle against global institutions. That's all for today. Thank you for joining in. We're eagerly looking forward to our next Top of the Morning episode, which will be packed with the latest news. Until then, this is Nelson John signing off. Have a great day.